Hello, this is Glenda, and today I'm going to be making a rainbow soap. And I'm inspiring my colors in these two rainbow paint, face paint. I do face painting on the weekends, and these two split cakes are very popular. But they pretty much have the same colors, just in different tones. Pink, yellow, teal. This one has green and purple. I'm not going to do the green, I'm just going to do these four. And I'm not really sure if they're going to look light color like this or a deeper color like those, but that's what I'm aiming for.
So right now you may be thinking, wait, I thought I clicked on the video for the lavender mud. What is she doing talking about a rainbow? Well, believe it or not, this is the same soap. You'll see. You'll see what happens.
Now I will be making a big batch. It's a 5 pound of soap batch. I have the light water here, and I'm going to take the temperatures first. This is 85, and that is, the oils are 105. I am going to strain the lye into it because I added some silk to it, 2 set silk fibers, and I don't think all of them got what do you call it, dissolved. So in this strainer I'll be able to catch anything that didn't. Now I will also be working with citric acid, which is something, let me show you. I got it from Wholesale Supplies once, and I just opened this bag. I got it, to be honest, because it was on sale, and even though I don't make bath bombs, it's hard to resist a sale, and I didn't have any use for it really. I figured maybe one day I might be able to use it. And then I was reading about citric acid, how it might help prevent sticky soap scum in hard water areas. So here what I have is that citric acid mixed with water, and I made the mistake of adding my blue oxide here because this is supposed to be added at a trace, and it created some reaction. So I'm not sure that I will be using this. I may have to remix it. It stinks to begin with, but I don't just want to chuck it because I want to make sure it's safe. Citric acid will diminish the effectiveness of the lye. It will neutralize some of it. So I did have to add extra lye to this so that I will still be able to get the super fat that I wanted and not any higher. Alright, it looks like I have reached emulsion, so I'm going to add the fragrance, and I'm only going to stir it. I have pre-measured it, and I'm using primarily lavender fragrance oil from Lone Star Candle Supply, which is right here. It's my first time using it, so hopefully it behaves, which is why I'm stirring it with a whisk. I'm adding a little bit of musk as my base note, and I'm also using coconut mango from Brambleberry, which is a fragrance I do not like, but I need to use it up, so I use about 20% of that. Okay, I think that's pretty well distributed. I'm hoping that it will stay somewhat liquid because I do have a bunch of colors to mix, and it will be very helpful if it didn't get too thick too fast. So
Okay, so up to this point, I was still ignorant or oblivious to the fact that I hadn't put the citric acid. That ordinarily, forgetting one ingredient is not that big a deal, except if it's going to affect your lye, you know, amount. So in this case, I had added extra lye, and not putting the citric acid meant that I had too much lye, like more oils would have been needed to make up for this. And I had, like 5 different colors, if you see on the screen. So it was more, I was more upset because it's all just wasted, colors, time, doing all this pours and layers. And at the end, it just wasn't going to work. What I've decided that I'm going to do next time to avoid this predicament is that I'm going to add the citric acid mix if I decide to use it again. And I think I will. I have to test the bars to see if it really works. If it really works for the sticky subscum. If it does, I'll probably try it again. And what I'll do is that I'm going to add it to the light water directly. When you do that, I'm not going to get the benefit of having a slightly lower pH, but that's not what I'm after, so it doesn't matter. And what you're seeing now is just me pouring the different layers. The purple was actually the last layer, and the blue, with the activated charcoal, was supposed to be like the sky, because when you see the rainbow, it's usually after a storm. So it was supposed to be this stormy looking dark sky. It would have been a really cool soap had it happened. However, I did learn that this one technique that I was trying to do to create a curve on the soap, it wasn't going to work because the soap needed to be hotter. And this was actually when I found out of my mistake, because I was waiting for the soap to set to become hotter so that I could actually mold it. And I was trying different things too, it seems, like a yard. I was using the mallet, but eventually when I decided to leave it alone is when I started cleaning up, just wiping the other containers, and that's when I found the container with the citric acid. So I knew I needed to act fast, whatever it was that I was gonna do, because I could feel the soap was beginning to get warmer, meaning that it was beginning to maybe start saponification. So I took a break and I went back to my recipe and I did math. I calculated if I didn't have any super fat, then how much lye would I need, and if it was gonna match the extra amount of lye that I had put without the citric acid. Then I realized that even if that was the case, it just wasn't. I wouldn't be completely safe. I wouldn't be completely sure that it wasn't lye heavy. So I decided to just, take a deep breath and take the container and pour it all back into the bucket. All those pretty colors that I had spent all that time mixing up and blending all went into the bucket, and it actually looks sort of cool if you see that mix of colors. I knew I was gonna get the color of mud when I mix all the colors together, because that's what you get when you mix colors together. So I was expecting a dirty brown look, and the purple looks so nice against the teal. It's definitely a nice color combination, and at some point I will probably try it again. So I did add the if you saw there, I added that citric acid with the water, and I added more oil just to be safe. What I should have done is that I should have measured how much extra oil I was adding, because at the end I was still a little bit unsure. Now I am. You'll see what happens next, what I had to do to make sure that it was safe. And you see those little lumps are actually the blue color whenever I try to break them up, it was the blue color that tends to, I guess, clump and accelerate. And I did add more oil at some point because I really wanted to cover my bases, make sure that I didn't have any light heavy soap. And I noticed that I wasn't getting brown mud. I was getting more of a gray color, soap. So it made me think of a project that I had thought about doing, just a future sketch that involved the color gray, and it involved, what do you call it? Something that sort of looks like diamonds or crystals or something shiny. But I didn't have the embeds to do that. However, I did have some soap dough pearl embeds, and that was for a different sub project. But I decided, this is gonna be the time to use them. So I took my palette knife to create some hopefully interesting texture on it, and then I added the soap dough pearls. And I didn't want to do that in all of the soap. I also had some extras flowers, and I added those too. So now this is a close-up of what it ended up looking like, the wet soap. And I wasn't entirely unhappy with it. Of course, I knew it wasn't going to be the rainbow that I wanted. So I decided to call it lavender mud because the main fragrance is lavender, and it looks a little bit like mud, the color at least. Alright, so here I have some red cabbage that I cut into pieces, and then I blended it with a food safe stick blender. It's different from the one that I have for the soup because I didn't want to have any lye residue in it. So what I'm supposed to do is to just put some on this, and if it changes to blue, it means that this soap is safe, and if it turns green, it means it's lye heavy. So here we go. So it's purple, and it looks like it's turning blue. So in addition to the cabbage pH method of testing the soap, I also use the soap to see if it will cause any itchiness, tingliness, burns, or any sensations that were not normal. And I didn't feel any of that. Then I also visually inspected the bars to make sure there were no lye pockets in it. And I did write on more detail about what to do if you have lye heavy soap, or if you suspect you have lye heavy soap, in the blog post, and I will put a link to that in the description. So I hope you like my lavender mud. And I did notice that it was already lathering better. It's the same soap recipe as before, and it seems to become more bubbly faster, without the cure time. So that's on the plus side. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.